I spent 4 whole days directly in the sun. It's more than I've ever spent in my life, I think.
You have all the vitamin D you need now.
I am filled with D. And I am like so burnt. I'm peeling. I'm so gross. Oh, hi, everyone. Welcome to another talkback for Good Game. Michelle's here.
Hi.
I am here. And we have all of your questions, many of which are, we have a lot of duplicates this week. A lot of people want to know very specific things, so we just selected some at random so we didn't, like, leave any of you out. Know that we got your questions and just selected from many of you asking the same one. So, my goodness. Episode 4, the streaming episode.
Out today.
Yep.
The Spasm episode.
Spasm.tv.
Yeah.
Not at all related to anything else.
No.
Not at all.
Nope.
I really enjoy this episode. It's a very contained, sort of by itself story.
A bottle episode,
Yes.
if you were, is what it's called in TV terms.
I'm not from TV. I call it one of the ones that isn't a Mythos episode from X-Files.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes. This is the kind of episode where it's just all filmed in one location.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
not where they're chasing aliens. It's where they're chasing the guy who could look like Luke Skywalker and went around banging people, which is one of my favorite episodes.
Wait, what?
That's an episode.
Of Good Game?
No, of X-Files.
Oh. I'm like, we had Luke Skywalker?
And then he went
Where
around
have I
banging
been?
people. Episode 5, spoilers.
Where was I when Luke Skywalker was banging people?
Episode 5, spoilers everyone, is about Luke
No one let
Skywalker
me in.
banging people. And then the Grumps dress up like Dana and Mulder. Scully and Mulder.
Scully and Mulder.
Dana.
Mulder.
Like Dana and Mulder. That is, if an alien had to come to Earth and try to describe X-Files without ever having watched it, except for a trailer, he'd be like, Dana and Mulder searched for Luke Skywalker, who was having sex with people. That's a real episode.
I think that's canon now.
It is, because it happened. I watched it. Anyway, let's get to these questions.
Okay, who we got?
First question comes from Gus Thomas, who says, Dan mentioned Rush. Is it in the script, or is it because of his pure love of the band?
Oh, both actually. Yes, because it was who has a bar mitzvah playlist, and then he's like, first one you need is Rush.
Always.
That was both scripted, and Danny really, really wanted Rush. I believe there might have been a different band, but Danny definitely talked about Rush a lot.
Rush is phenomenal.
Yeah.
A great band.
Wish they would play BlizzCon. That would be the best.
I don't know that BlizzCon could handle the Great White North. I feel like, although Blizzard, it would make sense.
Yes, it does. I want it to happen.
I'm just saying, it'd be amazing.
It would. But yes,
Also, Michelle hosting BlizzCon would know if Rush was going to be there.
Not yet. They don't tell me that kind of stuff yet.
Liar.
I wish I knew.
Liar. You know everything.
Oh, it would be so cool.
You know everything.
I do know a lot of things, but I don't know the band yet. I wish
The
I
band
did.
Yet's going to be there? Yeah, it's my favorite 70s prog rock band.
That's perfect then. You're going to be so happy.
I love Yet.
They are not in any bar mitzvah playlists.
It was during that weird time in the 60s and 70s when it was like Who and Yet and Again and maybe.
Yaz.
Crazy time to name your
Yazoo.
band. Yazoo.
Yeah.
Yazoo. Awesome
Yeah.
band name. Yazoo. Yeah, no, it's just, we all love Rush, so of course it's going to be in there.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Dill Indigo.
Delindigo.
I love the show. Lorenzos House looked familiar. Does it belong to one of the Grumps?
Oh, actually, no, it's not. It's in the YouTube Spaces, LA. We built that set.
It was all fake.
In fact, it was our last day of shooting.
Yeah, it was the very last day. There's a lot of sad photos out there of everyone crying and hugging and loving each other.
Empty sandbox.
Oh,
with
yeah,
confetti
sad,
in it.
empty sandbox. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment.
Actually, it was a
wrapped
really
up.
great way to end the filming because it was just all in the bottle episode, all in one location. Everything happens at Lorenzos House. But yeah, I'm glad you guys thought it looked like somebody's actual house. That's wonderful.
It wasn't. It was a set, and it was
fake.
awesome. And I loved it.
Trisha Robertson, yes, yet again, killing it
God, she's so good.
She's killing it. And it was hard to shoot, by the way, because I don't know if anybody asked questions about that or not, but the shooting, there were green screens on the monitors, and we were shooting in a circle, and we were actually using the webcams to shoot the footage on top of using cameras. So Danny Jelinek, our director, and our DP, Annie Knapp, they had to like move everything around to figure out like how we were going to do all those sequences. It was a lot. So like there was green screens in the background, and then afterwards, Jesse and I had to go through and make sure that Killcore was either playing or logged in or something was going on.
Yeah, at least
in
something.
the background.
Even if they weren't in the game, there's a lot of times where they had game footage, and it's like, yeah, but that person's looking at chat right now, so there wouldn't be game footage. There'd be something else,
right? Or
there'd be the login screen, or there'd be this or that. So we went through everything and made sure that everything was the way it would be if you were playing a game or streaming.
Right, because if you look at the Spasm interface that we made, we created it based on other streaming services.
Right.
And we wanted to make it look like there was a team kind of element at the bottom, so you can tell like player 1 is always Rylan, player 2 is always Raul, or I forget exactly which one, but they always switch and they always change to be, the way it matches. It's like a lot of work because we wanted to make sure it actually looked good for gamers.
There was a lot of just the amount of time and effort that went into those scenes. It was definitely one of those like, y'all, this is our last day. We have to wrap this up, but there's so much to do. And not only are you getting the shots of the cameras, which was the exact same camera we're using right now, but then you're getting shots with like the real big budget cameras, and then you're doing it from multiple angles, and then you have, we had all these different extras and people. It was crazy. It was a crazy day.
we had the clown and the mime and the singing telegram. So we had them all come in too. That was a lot of moving parts that day.
Yeah,
it was 2 days of shooting. But
and then the sandcastle was another thing where it's like
continuity on the sandcastle.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Making sure that and that thing's in the middle, by the way. So when we're like running around doing the whole fire drill scene, we have to make sure not to hit the sandcastle.
Right.
So that was a whole thing too, making sure that the sandcastle stayed intact for continuity. It's a lot.
Yeah. It was a lot went into it, but that's why it's on a set, because there's no way that could be someone's house.
No.
But shout out to everyone who built that damn thing, because it looks awesome.
I have a picture of the crew like building the sandcastle. Like that was so much fun for them. Yeah.
It's the little
we
things.
can build a sandcastle today inside a house.
Our next question is from Lil Keezy. Yo, Lil Keezy, what up? I saw Sam kill Dex Bones in game. Are there any more Easter eggs we're missing? We've said there are numerous Easter eggs in this show. Some people caught a Crendor at one point and a Sohinki. There was an Elysium reference at one point in one of the matches.
Yeah. The first episode, they caught the first episode Elysium reference. There's a lot of references inside of Killcore because there weren't a lot of opportunities to put tons of the Easter eggs into the dialogue.
Right.
So a lot of the Easter eggs are actually inside of Killcore. So the more you look and the harder you look, you'll find it.
They're there.
I spent a lot of time doing that.
We had a list at one point, which was all of the joke names we wanted to fit in, and it was like, okay, where do we fit these in? But there was a list at one point that was created of like, these are all of our friends that our jokes we're gonna put in.
So we're like, how do we fit in all of our friends? And this was the way to do it.
Yeah, it was cool.
But good job for recognizing that.
Good eyes. I like how people are like blowing up the screen and like trying to like find all the. That's cool.
I know. That's
cool.
very satisfying for us. We've spent a lot of time playing that game.
Next is very similar, related to that. Tony David says, so who wrote the chats on the stream? I noticed the Grumps Chat. For those of you who haven't seen it, we'll probably put it up on the screen right now. The Grumps Chat is during one of the conversations on the side during the Spasm chat, literally is like, who are these guys? They look grumpy. Like, yes, that one looks like a grump, and the other one not so grumpy. And it's like little tiny things like that. That is
just Easter eggs.
Yeah, there's lots of that in the show. Lots of tiny Easter eggs that were put there specifically because we knew people like you would find them.
Yep.
That was our objective from the get-go.
And Sarah and Erica had a lot of really, they're the showrunners of our show. They also had a lot of really great joke lines too to throw in there. The scripted chat that was going, the spasm chat that was going, was written by the team so that we could make sure that we're driving the narrative. So like anything you see with Ryland and Sam is obviously scripted, but the rest of it where it's just like grump, not so grump, and what's going on, that's just
particularly
random.
matter to the stuff where Ryland reacts to what he sees being said about Jade's character and how it's like he's freaking out because people are making fun of Sam. That's scripted stuff. That's him reacting to like, oh my God, that's terrible. Which
happens.
There was another question that was part of the same group. I just chose this one, but it was something along the lines of the stuff that was written in that chat. Is that from experience? And I don't know that it's from my experience, but I'm very aware it's taken from a place of people having experienced it. Like it definitely exists. Thank God for moderation on my chats, but that.
I mean, I've dealt with a lot of bullshit because I'm a girl, but at the same time, it's not as bad as what we wrote for Sam, is what we created for that. Obviously, she's taking the brunt of the internet. She's taking all of that just harassment. Everything kind of boiled down into these smaller moments. So she's taking all of it.
But but her character is handling it like a pro. Like, I'm not even going to pay attention to those people because they're idiots. And Ryland is getting caught up in like, oh my God, I must offend her. And I think that's very cute.
That happens a lot too, when guys like have to sort of white knight or however, women, and that's just something we wanted to tackle and show because there's different sides of it. I mean, you've got also in the beginning, you've got Ash and Sam, and Ash is like hot babes on the esports people stream, and Sam's like hardcore competitors on the stream, because it's just the way that different people are trying to say. She's like, I don't want to have to sell us by our sexuality, and Ash is like, that's what we have to do. So we're taking both the extremes.
It's your hustle, however you decide to make your hustle on the internet. Next question, Jasmine. Great episode as always.
Aw, thanks, Jasmine.
Love the bottle episodes. Oh my God, she's in the terminology. And you guys nailed it. Just wondering, who do each of the esports people main in Killcore? Thanks. Good question. As you are aware, there's two that are very obvious off the bat. First off, Raul plays Sweet Nuts. I'm trying to think of
diarrhea.
Hot Diarrhea is Sweet Nuts. But I'm trying to think of what role he would play on the team. I guess he's not support. He's definitely an assassin of some sort.
Trap.
Yeah.
Utility. Trap utility.
When it comes to Jade is, I'm just calling them by their real names.
Jade, Sam is Ballbang 96.
Yeah.
She's playing Monster Pope.
Yeah, and she's our tank. And of course, Detached Retina is Lorenzo. I'm going to call him Michael now because now I feel bad that I'm going to give him. But
Michael Ornstein.
He's the healer. And then you are playing
Calamity Payne.
Yeah, Calamity Payne, and you're probably in the jungle causing some trouble.
She's an assassin.
Yeah,
she's a bit of a glass cannon, I suppose.
And of course, I'm going to say, I don't know that we ever defined. He's definitely a magic user. Ryland is playing Manatine, but I don't.
Mage.
Yeah, I don't know, because for a mage, he never really casts magey abilities, right? He just
flops around.
He just flops. I'm trying to figure out like what we decided his abilities were, but they really were like water-based.
Lettuce.
Yeah.
Originally he had a staff. He had the staff of the waterways.
Right.
The magical staff of the waterways, but we had to create a staff and an attachment to do that, so we were like, never mind.
Yeah.
He no longer has a staff. But he has a lullaby that he sings.
Yes, it's his mermaid song.
Yeah,
his mermaid song. Lettuce was one of his abilities.
Yeah, let us all get along. So he throws lettuce, like you can actually see just chunks of lettuce being tossed. So that's his attack. His mage abilities really went downhill.
Yeah.
But
I hate to spoil it. We decided to have more fun than actually really consider what their abilities would be. I keep thinking like, what did we originally start with these characters?
Yeah.
Because most of them started at one point and then ended up because of reasons of
scripts and whatnot.
Yeah, just trying to even create the assets in the game. We were like, oh no, let's just change. As we mentioned with Sweet Nuts, his original ability was he'd hug you to death. And there's no way we could do that. So we were like, okay, he goes invisible.
Yeah. And Detached Retina, for example, was originally named iRule. And like RUL with like the two little dots over the top, like meaning he was kind of like an old god who judged you by looking at you.
And then he became a healer.
Yeah.
You know,
so,
then he became a healer.
With an I-beam.
With an I-beam that heals you.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But
Monster Pope was always a tank, was always meant to be that kind of a character.
Yeah, he's
Calamity
a Monster
Pain,
Pope.
always meant to be
an assassin.
An assassin. And Manatine was just supposed to be our mage, supposed to be our typical mage magic user. And
it was just a great name. It's a great name. Manatine, he's a manatee teenager who uses magic, aka mana. It's a perfect name.
Yeah.
It's flawless.
He thinks it's magic, but really he's just flopping around.
It's teenage angst is what it is. Our next question is from Roxanne Hennessy, who says, will we see the Mystery Man again? I assume you're referring to the end of the episode?
Oh.
Maybe.
Oh, that's right. Ninja Brian.
You're not supposed to spoil it.
That's who came in.
Right, but you're not supposed to spoil that.
Isn't that him? Didn't they
But
show
you only
him?
see the back of his head.
Oh. I thought he leaves, he walks out and you see his face.
Oh, maybe you see his face a little bit. Like I said, as we discussed last time, I haven't seen it since the first time I watched it. It's been a month and a half since I watched that scene.
You need to give it a view now that it is.
I can't get. Look, I watched the episode and then stop right before it gets to me because that's how I roll.
You're great in it.
It doesn't matter. I cannot watch myself in anything.
Oh my God.
I'm not even looking at myself right now. I'm looking at the camera instead of I'm directly staring into the camera rather than acknowledge that I'm less than an inch below it.
I'm staring at you.
Well, you and every other person watching now because I've made it awkward.
I don't even remember what we were talking about. Oh, Ninja Brian.
The Mystery Man is Ninja Brian. He may return, yes.
He may.
Mm-hmm.
He might. There's
may
2
come
episodes
back.
left.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens.
Cleor says, how much money does Lorenzo actually have? He seems to be pretty liberal with spending. Also, the gay Voldemort line in chat was hilarious.
I agree. That's hilarious.
You mean gay he shall not be named is what you mean. How much money does he have? Well, he's a real estate agent, and he's in California.
And he inherited a fortune from his father.
Yeah, so a lot. He has a lot of money, which is why he's so liberal with it. Also because he's very stingy. He saves up a lot of his money. In the first episode, he mentions it. He just doesn't spend a lot, and he works really hard.
That's what he says. He works really hard and doesn't spend a lot. But as he starts playing on the team, he's not working as much.
Right.
And he even says in that 4th episode, he's like, do you know how unfulfilling Nathan
Unfulfilling.
Unfulfillion on the mind.
His
Nathan Unfulfillion.
His alter ego, the nega version of him, the dark red-eyed evil shadow version of him. Nathan Unfillion.
He says it's
Nathan
so
Unfillion's shadow evil demon is on the show, episode 5. He appears and challenges Nathan Fillion to combat. And you would think, oh my God, I can't wait to see what happens to Jesse.
Are you telling people that Nathan Fillion's in the 5th episode?
I am.
That would be amazing.
It's the post-credit scene. After the credits roll, if you believe hard enough, Nathan Fillion will show up and fight.
Just clap.
What is it called? Is it the NECA or NEGA? I don't know which version it is. Kristen, you're a nerd.
What?
The when you fight the one that's like the shadow version of you with the red eyes.
Nega.
Is it NEGA or NECA?
Nega, not
Yeah.
Nega. Where's Nega?
What is Nega?
I don't know what NECA. Look, I'm just trying to make it so people won't yell at me.
I'm looking at you.
Stop
I'm
it.
staring at you right now.
Yo, how you doing?
He's like, I'll stare back. But he says property management is so unfulfilling. So it's very clear that he is not paying enough attention to his properties. Mm-hmm. He just wants to play. So who knows how much of that fortune he's going through.
That could be a problem. Our next question comes from Night Spectre. The name of the
great
nega,
name.
as we've discovered, Unfulfillian, who's coming for Fillion versus Unfulfillian. That is the best villain name. Night Spectre wants to know, where's your sandcastle in your streams? It's right between us right now, actually. You can't see it because it's lower than the camera angle. But right now, I was laying in it. Yeah. I was laying in it and did like a sand angel.
Yeah, you did.
And then, like, you know.
He also pooped in it.
It's actually made of litter, and I am a cat. It's not sand, it's a litter box. And this office stinks. I do not change it. I feel like let nature run its course. Someone will take care of it, not me, though, but it's just a litter box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. There's your answer.
That's it.
Yeah. Alid Littlewood wants to know, it looks like Jesse has developed some serious psychological issues due to Killcore. Are we going to find out what started them? Great question. Guess we'll leave it at that.
Yep, we're gonna have to leave it there.
Great question.
You're gonna have to keep watching to find out more, but yeah, the more there's more Jesse storyline to come.
There is. I love that this episode gave us, speaking of storyline, as we discussed with all the previous episodes, this one was about Lorenzo. This was Lorenzo's story and sort of his backstory about being this, what he thought was amazing gamer, and coming to the conclusion that, oh God, I'm terrible, but the team's still sticking with him, mostly because the internet loves him.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the real moral of this,
Yeah.
which hopefully, because I know I see a lot of Game Grump fans who message stuff like, the most unrealistic thing about this show is that the Grumps are good at gaming. I think this goes back to that, which is Lorenzo's not great, but everyone suddenly relates to Lorenzo and wants him to
Succeed.
Just and they all are now on Team Lorenzo, and they
have to keep him on the team.
It'd be stupid of our team to boot him, and I think that's a really cool concept. That, like, even though he's terrible, people love him, and so he's now like celebrity.
Yeah, he's memeing. He's memeing very hard.
So hard.
I wish there were more memes of him actually out there, but
I love the fan art of him. I think
I know.
the people sending the fan art. Also,
they're so good.
y'all
you guys.
go follow Michael's Twitter. We'll just like link it. Or,
Swim Deep at Swim Deep.
Y'all don't even know. His posts about this show are so funny. He just like films the TV screen. I love him to death. He films the TV screen, but it's like a perfect clip.
Yeah.
Of today's for this episode was him. He's like, hey guys, what are you talking about over there? He's like, nothing, buddy. And he does a spin of his hat, and it's so funny.
Oh my God. That was a tough scene to film, by the way, because every time he did that, Danny and I would start laughing because he would just go like Tweedledee and Tweedledum put together.
So good.
It was so good.
He's so good.
Yeah. But this one was Lorenzo's storyline. And the other thing, too, is this episode shows us that they're really trying to make money and trying to be taken seriously and trying to get out to the community and gain fans and do whatever that they need to do.
Even though it's not necessarily the best way. I think this episode, and I think the last few episodes definitely shows that while we, the creators, would love for you to root for this team, at the end of the day,
they're pretty shitty.
They're very Seinfeld-esque. We're like, they deserve the jail time coming to them. Like, they're not good people. They're just people who want to be better than where they're at.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that they're good.
No,
they're not. They do some scummy stuff.
They're esports people.
It's true.
It's what
the
they
name.
are.
Yeah, it's their name.
Yeah.
But as you can tell, the first episode was sort of the introduction to everyone. The second episode was about
harassment, trolling,
yeah.
toxicity, and Rahul, Kamal's character.
Kamal, and how we learned sort of about him. And the next episode was about Sam. And I keep wanting to call him by their real names. That's how much I love you. You're not characters to me. You're real people. Sam's storyline and about her wanting to compete so hard. And this episode was about Michael and Lorenzo's incredible desire just to be loved. And I guess we can sort of hint at the fact that there's only really one character left out of the main two. So I guess next episode will be something. Wink, ooh.
I wonder who it'll be about.
I don't know. But I bet there'll be repercussions about them wanting to be taken seriously and try very, very hard, even though they're kind of a joke.
Yeah.
So that might happen in the future.
Everyone should also watch that episode because it comes out the week of my wedding, and that'd be a really nice wedding gift if you bought YouTube Red. I'm just saying.
You did not just use your wedding to
I'm
shill.
saying I would rather have subscriptions in a season 2 than, you know, any other
Than a
random
wedding?
thing. No, well, I want the wedding.
Let's
I'm
make
talking
it
about
happen.
gifts.
Let's burn this wedding to the ground, y'all. You heard it right now. Let's burn it down. She don't even really want to get married. She told me that in private. She was like, Jesse, I'd rather have a season 2 than be with my husband. So she told me.
He's my fiance right now. You only get to say it for like a little bit. He's fiance. It's just
That's like the grossest part of getting married. My fiance.
It's a weird word. It's really hard to adjust to, and then I'm gonna have to say husband soon. It's very odd.
I would just be like, this is my husband.
Is that what you say?
That's what I would say. But I guess my
Are you
husband.
gonna say that about my husband?
I'm gonna be like, this is my husband. Yes. Yeah, he's a catch. Are you kidding me? Hell yeah! I'll be like, this is my husband. Smooch.
Smooch. Jesse, on like the day of, runs up to the altar and just makes out with Mike instead.
Definitely. This is gonna be one of those like, speak now or forever hold your peace, and I'll be like, bruh, I got a few things to say. This man is too good for her. And then I kiss him. Then I give him some of that.
And then you guys can get married, and I'll get the YouTube Red season 2.
Yeah.
And then everyone gets what they want.
Last question. Speaking of a perfect last question.
Okay.
Jenny Locke wants to know, any chance we'll get outtakes or a blooper reel?
I sure hope so.
I mean, that's what
We've
this is.
talked about it. We've definitely talked about it. It's been conversations have been had. There's a lot of Elysium joke references that might just seem like a big inside joke to everybody.
Yes.
But there's a lot of really funny bloopers where actually one of the best bloopers or just outtakes of the entire thing is the first episode with me and Dan Harmon, our scene where he fires my character. And
there's like
holy
25
shit.
minutes of footage.
It's so funny. He just goes off. He goes off about the state of the world and about how my character, he's like, can you have any levity? These people are dying. You have to see it. I just had to sit there and stare at him yelling. It's so funny.
The original scene might have been like 10 minutes long.
Easily.
Like, it was hilarious.
He would, because his way about it was really interesting because the dialogue was just, do I look like Kevin Hart? Do I look like international box office comedian Kevin Hart? And in order to like ramp up and get to that point, he just said a bunch of other shit and then would suddenly go, do I look like Kevin Hart? And it would come out of nowhere. So I really hope that surfaces. And obviously too, the outtakes with that are coming up in the 5th or the 6th episode, I really would love to see the outtakes between our next caster with Terry Crews.
Yes, that's gonna be. There's oh my god, they shot that. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah,
episode 6 is so good.
It's so good.
I have my own episode 6 thing that I'll probably put up on Twitter at some point. There's a scene between Danny and Aaron, and they were practicing it, but because they're Danny and Aaron, they replaced what the real discussion was about with rhymes with, oh fuck it, I'm on the internet, I can say it, with dick sucking. And so they replaced the dialogue, and it's hilarious. I like how I tried to censor myself on my own channel, like I don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah.
Dick sucking, y'all. It's the Game Grumps talking about dick sucking.
You
Hashtag
earlier just said you were full of D.
Vitamin D, gross. Oh my god. But your husband's gonna be full of D before. It's gonna be a fun wedding, y'all.
That is good.
Oh,
That's
thanks for watching,
No,
everybody.
we have to give a shout out. We have to give a shout out.
Yes, of course.
To Lee. Lee, if you're watching, because Fresh Lemony Snicket, what's his name? He makes some of the fan art that's been out there, and he's incredible. He DM'd me, and because we were talking, his name is Steve Dorian, Lemony Fresh Twit. I don't know where I got Lemony Snicket Twit or whatever I said, but Lemony Fresh Twit. Great name, Steve Dorian. He would like to say, Lee Craven, what's up? That he really loves Scary Game Squad.
Me?
You.
Thank you so much. Lee Craven, that's not even a real name.
Related to Wes.
That's Lee Craven is the name of a villain that hunts Spider-Man. That's not a real name.
Lee Craven.
Lee Craven.
Lee Craven.
Well, thank you. I hope your attempts to capture the Spider-Man work out. And if you do, let J. Jonah Jameson know, because that guy's been looking for that dude. Let him know. Let him know what's up.
I don't even know what's happening.
Thank you to everyone, to Lee and to D, and to everyone who has been making fan art for the show. I am blown away by it. I'm so excited.
Oh, I love it. It makes me so happy, you guys. It's really cool. It's really special. So everybody, you're also talented.
Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching this talkback. We'll be back with another one next week, unless I've run off with Michelle's hubby, soon to be my hubby. I don't know why I'm using the word hubby. It's creepy and gross. Thanks for watching. We're going to end it here. Bye, everybody.
You know, where's the payoff? Bring the strippers and booze. We do occasionally talk about video games. Bring the strippers and booze. I don't have time for video games. Bring the strippers and booze.
Oh, thank God, I don't need pants now.
Hey, JC, what are you doing? Not much. Making a fortune.
It's a promotional broadcast.
Yeah, now sing music.
It's a promotional broadcast.
Bring the strippers and booze.
It's a promotional broadcast.
I'm here to ask and answer one simple question.
It's a